Well, welcome to tonight's candidate forum. My name is Jeannie Wortman, and I'm the director for the Missouri Valley Chamber of Commerce. And I'm glad to see that we've got people interested in finding out more information about the candidates that we have running for offices for the election on November the 7th. So we have mayor, city council, and Missouri Valley School Board candidates that are here tonight. And we're looking forward to hearing from all of them. So thank you to each of those candidates for being here tonight and participating with us. Before we get started with the program, I would like to extend a huge thank you to all of those that do something to put this all together. So the Rand Community Center provides this wonderful venue for us to meet at. Denny Smith always sets up our sound system for us. Our police department attends. Kelly Richards is here with Blair Radio tonight, and she helps provide coverage for those who are not able to come tonight, but can pull it up online a little bit later. And then our chamber leads for the event are Judy Holcomb and David Jones. Judy and Anita Salter are sitting up front here tonight. There are timekeepers during the question period. Our moderator for tonight is Renee Anderson. And in just a few moments, Connie McWilliams will offer a prayer as part of the evening's program. Let's give all of these individuals a big hand. I appreciate every one of them. We do ask that during the candidates' question and answer part of the program, that you hold any applause until the end. Programs have been provided for you to follow, so they were on all of the chairs, so I hope that everyone has one. So let's begin with everyone standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, and then please continue standing for the prayer, which will follow immediately after by Connie McWilliams. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Gracious God, we've come together this night as community, and we've come to listen to these candidates that have stepped forth, and we are thankful for each and every one of them that are willing to serve in the school, in the community, in the various places to make Missouri Valley a better place. So, Father, we ask that their answers may flow tonight for the questions that are being asked. May there be honesty and integrity as they share, but also we uphold this audience that has gathered here, that they be respectful and they show kindness and they listen carefully. Father, we also pray for peace this night. We know that the world has a very strong need for peace everywhere. And we uphold our military men and women wherever they are, also keep them safe. So Father, we just pray your presence be here tonight through this forum. And we pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you, Connie. So here are the rules that we will follow and adhere to during the forum tonight. Each candidate will have up to 2 minutes to introduce themselves. Each candidate will have up to 1 minute to answer the question asked by the moderator. Each candidate will have up to 2 minutes for closing remarks. The timekeeper will show a yellow card when there are 30 seconds left for the candidate to finish their answer. A blue card when there are 10 seconds left to finish, and a red card means a candidate needs to stop speaking. Their time has expired. A bell will be rung. Can we hear that bell, Judy? There we go. If a candidate continues speaking after their allotted time has expired, they will be given a one-time warning. If there is a second occurrence, they will be removed from the forum panel. Candidates will adhere to a professional decorum. No personal attacks against another candidate will be allowed. The audience will also adhere to a professional decorum. Anyone making a disturbance will receive a one-time warning and be removed from the rant center if a second time occurs. Please hold any applause until the end of the questioning. So we will hear the school board candidates first. There will be a 10-minute interim right after that so that we can change out the name cards and get the city council candidates up here. And at this time, I will turn it over to Renee. It's all yours.
Thank you very much, Jeannie. We are going to go ahead and start tonight. I'm going to switch it around so you'll all have different chances at starting and being the last one to answer, that sort of thing. So the first question for this evening is, what motivates you to want to become?
Are we going to do introductions?
Sorry. Oh, sorry. Yes, you're right. See, I'm already messed up, John. You've already got to keep me in line. John, why don't you start with introductions?
I'm a stand. My name's John Ferris. I live in the Honey Creek, Iowa area. I've been on the board for 8 years, and it's been a really neat experience, and I feel like we really made a difference. I'm married to my wife Jenny. We farm part-time. I work full-time at Farm Credit Services America. I'm a vice president there, and work in an appraisal team. I've got 4 kids. My oldest son Connor's at Iowa State. My second son is at Southwestern Community College in Creston, Iowa. My daughter, Haley, is a senior. She was on the state tournament softball team, so we're really proud of that. And then my daughter, Bristol's in 8th grade. We're members of the St. Paul Community Church and lifelong residents of this area, so pleased to be here.
Joanna?
My name is Joanna Barnard. I am originally from Missouri Valley. My husband and I both graduated from high school here in Missouri Valley, and our son now is a freshman in high school, our son Bobby. I currently am a day trader and do some property management. And I, along with John, have also been on the board for 8 years. And I feel like in those 8 years, we've made some really good progress and done some very exciting things here in Missouri Valley, and so I just look forward to another term so we can continue with that momentum.
Bridget?
I'm Bridget Myler. Also been on the board for 8 years, 2 terms. Married to Jimmy Myler. We're both Missouri Valley alum graduates, still live in Missouri Valley, obviously. We also have 3 children. Our oldest is a freshman at Wayne State College. She also plays volleyball there. Our middle child, Daxton, he's a sophomore. And then our youngest is Dylan, and she's a 7th grader. I'm a little sad that I don't have anyone in the elementary any longer, but anyway. Also work for Amazon. I'm a human resource manager there. I have 6 states that I visit and travel quite a bit to get to. So that's brought me good experience in terms of just background and a unique experience that I can bring to the board. And then also been on previous boards from an HR standpoint. I was on the soccer board when my kids did play soccer, and then also belong to the Christian church. So happy to be here.
Stephanie?
I'm Stephanie Staben. I am from Dunlap, Iowa. Maiden name is Cogdale, so we have family businesses locally around here. My husband is John Staben, who just walked in the door. Hi, honey. Him and his family also own a business locally, and so we're very vested in the communities around us, and we really work hard to support the communities around us. I have 6 children. Seems crazy for lots of people to know, but they range from 11 down to 2. I was a former teacher in the school for 12 years, and now I work for the AEA, so I've been in education really since I graduated. we're members of St. Pat's Church here in town. And we're just very vested members of the community and really work to support the vision and the goals that we can just provide for the community. So, yeah, that's it.
Thanks. Okay, our first question is, what motivates you to want to become a board member? Joanna, let's start with you.
I, like Stephanie, also have a background in education. I have an elementary education degree and taught second grade here in Missouri Valley for 6 years. And then also being a parent, obviously I have a lot of passion about education. And so I feel that being on the board, having that background gives me a unique perspective. I know the day-to-day operations of what goes on in that classroom all day, every day. And I just feel with that background, I have the ability to bring in some very unique ideas.
John?
Sure. I guess I've been a member of the board for the last 8 years. I feel like we've made a real difference. You know, we've had major improvements. We've got great teachers. We've got great administration. So I just want to keep the momentum going. I'm a vested member of this community. I've got kids in the community. And, you know, really, the community is driven by the school. And if we have a great school, we have a great community. And we believe we have a great school. And that's really what I can bring is you challenge the process. You try and make it a little bit better. You try and make sure we're spending money wisely. So those are some of the things that really motivate me to want to be on the board and continue what we're doing.
Bridget?
I would also echo Joanna and John. When I first thought about becoming a board member, I was actually approached by a board member who was stepping down. And I wasn't sure if it was something I really wanted to do, didn't know a lot about the school board, but having served for 8 years, it's definitely a huge learning opportunity. And just again, having 3 children in the district, definitely was very vested. And we do have a lot of positive momentum. And we just in the last board meeting got the superintendent's annual report, and it was just amazing how much gets accomplished each year. And so, to the point made already, just keeping that momentum going, and again, knowing I still have kids in the district, wanting to continue to serve in the district and continue to make a difference.
Okay, Stephanie?
Okay. So one of my big motivations with running for board is education has always been my passion. And so when I was a teacher in the district, you can't run and you can't serve. So now that I'm in a different position, that really drove a lot of that momentum for myself. I have my children obviously are in the district. Having the educational background, kind of like Joanna has too, definitely gives a unique perspective. I think the board has done amazing things thus far, but would just like to kind of add a different perspective for them. So, yeah.
Okay. Our next question is, if you're elected, what would the first issue be that you would like to address? And Stephanie, we'll start with you.
Oh man, okay. So one thing that I felt like could be improved is just transparency. I know the board has worked very hard at reviewing their policies and, just fine-tuning those things, but I do think that the community and the staff at the school could use an increased level of transparency and just, what the board says that we do and those sort of things, and then making sure that is available for others to review, so that way there's just open trust and transparency, because I think when it's not transparent, then sometimes you can get perspectives that might not match with really what's occurring. So,
Bridget?
Yeah, so having been on the board, I think I have a little bit different perspective. Like, we work hard, we come together each year, create goals. So from my standpoint, would want to continue to work towards those goals, and those goals are in structure and student achievement. So again, the educational, focusing on education and the achievement of our students. The second goal is enhancing our culture and climate. So again, making this a place where our students want to be, where our administration, our teachers want to be. And then the third is school safety, which again, our superintendent has done a fabulous job bringing this goal to life in our community. And then the fourth is just fiscal responsibility. So we know we have a budget that we have to adhere to, as well as our community. So those are the things I would want to continue to focus on.
John?
You know, I think the thing that I want to focus in on is our declining enrollment. We continue to see students not come to Missouri Valley. They're electing to go to other places. Kids that live in our district are going north. That's a real concern of mine, and that's happened over a period of years. We've closed the gap, but we've got to make this a school system of choice where they want to come here. We have the infrastructure, we have the facilities, we have the teachers. We've got to have the winning attitude. That's one of the things I think we're missing, is trying to have that winning attitude to attract families and people here. So that's probably a major concern of mine. Minor concerns, we're going to have bus driver shortage here soon. We have substitute teacher shortages. We have people not going into education. We're going to have trouble recruiting young teachers here in the near future. We're going to have retirements. I mean, there's a variety of different issues that are going to need to be addressed over the next several years. So I'm prepared to do that.
Joanne?
I'm going to sound a little bit like a copycat because that's about everything that I had on my page. I agree with continuing the forward momentum that we already have, and the school safety piece is a huge thing in this day and age, and we're really working hard to try to expand that. We're working with local law enforcement and that kind of thing, and so that's another thing or something that I definitely want to keep as a focus for us. Another thing that I'm really passionate about is supporting our mental health team at the school. Mental health services are something that continue to be a growing need, not just here, but everywhere. So that's another thing that's very important to me. And like John, the school funding is something that we're all very concerned about. With enrollment declining everywhere, then the open enrollment piece is a very big thing that we need to consider.
Okay. An individual school board member has no authority. Only the board as a whole can make decisions for the district. What skills or traits will allow you to contribute to effective operations on the board as a whole? And let's start with John.
So we really don't have authority, but we have influence. We have leadership, we have persuasiveness, we have accountability, we've got to pay attention. One thing that I do, I talk to a lot of parents, I talk to a lot of teachers. I try and have meaningful conversations and not surface level conversations. Making sure I get to the root of issues and hear the positives and the negatives and try and give that feedback to our school, to our administrators, and I guess follow the right course. So the leadership and the persuasiveness is what I think I bring. I also bring a business acumen, and I bring probably a very different perspective than the group that's here. Thank you.
Stephanie?
Well, I am a very good collaborator. I think that's one of the traits that I've gained over my educational career, and also just the professional endeavors. I also work really hard to try to figure out both sides of things before just jumping to conclusions, because there's two sides to every debate. I'm a level-headed person, very respectful, very, very professional. I like learning about other people and their values and interests and what can be improved, and taking that into consideration. Yeah.
Bridget?
Yeah, the three that I had written down was collaboration. Like, we do have to collaborate as a team, and I think our board does do a very good job of that. The ability to respectively challenge. So again, not always going with the status quo, making sure that your voice is heard. If you don't agree, making sure that you communicate that, but then also being able to disagree and commit. So at the end of the day, as a board, like, we move forward, and we don't look back and go back after the fact and have conversations on the side. So disagreeing, committing, and moving forward with whatever the decision is that's made.
Joanne?
Being on the board currently, I definitely feel that one skill that is very, very important is being able to listen. And we definitely have meetings where all 5 of us walk in with 5 different opinions or 5 different ideas, But by the time that meeting is over and we have spent thorough time going over all those thoughts and ideas, we come to a consensus and agree on it, and then we all support it. And I think that's a very big thing for a board like this. The other thing is the unique perspective that I mentioned earlier. I think that's a skill that is an important thing that I bring to the board, just that perspective that other people might not necessarily think about because they haven't been in those shoes before.
Okay. Bridget, we're going to start this next one with you. What do you see as current challenges facing education in our state and then secondarily in our country?
Yeah, so I know a few of them have already been mentioned. So the teacher shortage, the bus driver shortage, also just the lack of budget and funding. As you all know, everything is becoming more and more expensive every day. So we feel that as well when it comes to the board budget and trying to make everything work. Again, knowing we have things that need to be replaced, updated, and then also technology. So technology is always changing, and it's something that our teachers have to adapt to, our students have to adapt to, and then just again keeping up with technology. So those are probably the four things again that come to mind, and the teacher and bus shortage is probably the biggest concern.
Joanna?
I agree with the funding, that obviously, and that's everywhere, but our small school districts, it's a very concerning problem. The funding or lack of funding that comes down every year from the state, it's just something that is very restrictive for our small communities. Again, the staff shortages and as well as staff retention. Getting those teachers and staff members to come here to Missouri Valley and then want to stay here even though Omaha or Council Bluffs may pay more for the same job. And again, I speak to more resources for mental health in our small school districts. We have been working diligently here in Missouri Valley on some very good programs. The Hope Squad, we're the very first Hope Squad here in the state of Iowa, but we need to continue looking at programs such as those for mental health.
Stephanie?
Now I'm going to sound a bit like a broken record, but I think all across the state, retention and staff shortages are huge. It's not just isolated to rural districts. I think if we can really focus on what might be some of the steps to help entice teachers and help keep teachers or train teachers or support staff or anything like that to remain in the districts, that will help our rural communities. But that definitely is something that is concerning. I think funding and voucher programs and things like that are something public education is having to deal with in a different way. And I just think overall teachers aren't prepared maybe in the same way they were prepared when I first started teaching. And so that's a little bit of a concerning thing, so something to keep in mind.
Okay. John?
Governor Reynolds, I really like her. I like a lot of her policies, but she's been very tough on public education. So if you're saying what's something that's been a concern at the state level, it's probably Governor Reynolds and the current Senate and the House. They have cut funding and they've been very tenacious about it. So it's hard to predict in an inflationary environment that our school funding is probably going to be 2%. Inflation's at what, 9, 10. So there's a big gap there, and that's something that's not going to get closed this next year. So that's probably a big concern of mine. At the national level, concern is parents. Parents are not involved in education anymore. I've got an app, I can check grades any minute, I can see where they're at, so there's a lot of transparency, but that doesn't mean I'm involved. And I think I go to school meetings and we have very few parents who show up, and that's very concerning. We don't have parents that support teachers. I feared my teacher because I knew my dad would support the teacher. We don't have that now. Parents pull rank on teachers, and that's not right.
Okay, John, we're going to start this one with you. Could you tell us two to three strengths that you think that the district can be proud of right now, and why do you see these as strengths?
They're going to say the same things I'm going to say. So, we've got great facilities. The bus, during our tenure here, we put the ELC up on top of the hill. Hopefully you've had a chance to walk on the track in there and enjoy that. It's a community effort, and we're really, really proud of that. I was involved in the planning group that helped put the football stadium up. I was very good friends with Dr. Hazing when we got the bus center in here. So I think we've made a very good effort to improve our infrastructure and to provide some good facilities. You know, there's things that we got to do better. We got to improve some of the classrooms at the elementary school. We've got to modernize the high school. But overall, our facilities are really good. Secondly, I think we've got good administrators, we've got good staff, and we've got some good teachers. And so that's the thing that really goes for our district, just people that care. And we've got to have some teachers living in our district too. That's the other thing that I advocate for.
Joanna?
Ditto. My first and foremost on my list was the staff that we have here in Missouri Valley, and I'm not just talking teachers and administrators. I'm talking about bus drivers and paras and our kitchen help. All of those people play a huge part in the day-to-day lives of our students, and we are very blessed here in Missouri Valley to have wonderful people around our kids every day. Again, we have amazing facilities that bring lots of opportunities, not just for our kids, but all of our community members. And the other thing that I'm very proud of is the students here in Missouri Valley, not only for their academic achievement, but for some of the time and effort that they put into giving back to our community through some of the clubs that they're in, some of the groups that they have at school, Hope Squad, Key Club, those kinds of things.
Okay. Brittany?
Bridget.
So, again, those were the two items that I had on my list, administration, staff. Again, they not only do their own teaching and their roles, but they also play such a huge role in all the activities and events and things that we provide to our students. So I think I'm really proud of that as well. Our students have so much that they can be involved in, and a lot of that goes back to, again, the administration and staff. And then in terms of facilities, we do have the best facilities. So that goes a long way as well in being able to provide for our students. But there's just, again, so much positive momentum, and just think about the last 8 years and some of the challenges we've worked through to create some of this momentum. So,
Stephanie?
Well, gosh, the school facilities, they are just great. But one thing that I think is our school pride and just our positive climate. If you've gone into any of the schools, you can just feel the joy, the happiness, the camaraderie. And I've worked in lots of other districts now in my different role, and it's not the same. And so I think that's what makes students feel valued here. That's what makes parents feel that we're in a trusting partnership. So I think that's just something that the administration has worked really hard at, the community has worked really hard at, to make that just the culture of our schools and of Missouri Valley. So I think that's awesome.
Okay, Stephanie, now we're going to start with you and kind of look at the opposite of this. Why don't you name 2 to 3 things that you think should be priorities that our district needs to address, and then how would addressing these help our students?
So one thing that I feel like is a deficit within our community is housing, new housing areas, and I know that's not something we can tackle readily, but when we are able to bring some of the staff in, that they might become members of the community, in theory that's going to then increase enrollment and increase buy-in to the programs. Expanding childcare, we don't have a lot of childcare opportunities here, and I think looking in funding opportunities that maybe are open. I also think we have a really high turnover for support staff, and I think that's something, we think a lot about the teachers, but sometimes the support staff, we don't often think about the turnover rate with them. So I think that's something we should examine.
Okay, Bridget?
I also had the need for more housing to increase enrollment. Obviously needing to be able to attract more families, or at least have current people have more kids, to increase our enrollment, and then continuing to focus on our goals. So many of the things that we talked about fall within one of the 4 goals that we have, and some of the things that we're trying to achieve, and the different things that we measure to know if we're succeeding or not. So again, I think it's that partnership with the community, continuing to focus on that to see how we can, again, partner and get more housing opportunities in our community.
John?
We've got an old bus barn sitting up there that's kind of an eyesore. I'd really like to see some of that area cleaned up, be a good partner to our community by making things look nice. So I think there's an opportunity to reinvest that area and do something different with it. With the declining enrollment, it's going to be tough. So we're going to have to look at this over time to see what our opportunities are. We've got a district office that sits not adjacent to our school. It'd be nice to get our administrators up on top of the hill. So there's an opportunity to maybe do something with that facility. So I think we have to be open-minded about what we can do to improve and maybe consolidate some of our facilities. So that's something that is probably on my agenda. Obviously, housing. We're doing our part as a school to bring people here. We need the city to partner with us to make sure we're bringing housing to the school. Dr. Hazing had several ideas. We didn't get much traction on those, but we're still committed to doing our part to bring people here.
Joanne?
I agree with everything that the three of them have said. I think something else that I think needs to stay on our radar, for a long time, at the time when I was graduating and then for a while after, the focus was everyone needs a college degree, everyone needs a 4-year degree. And we realized that that's not smart. And so, we are working with Iowa Western, we have the bus center now. I feel that we need to continue to bring focus to the trades and to preparing kids to go directly into the job force after graduation, so that we can continue to build those citizens that we want and that we need in our community after graduation.
Okay. And then if you're elected, what would you hope to be the key accomplishments of the board during these next 4 years? And John, let's see, actually we're going to start with Joanna.
Okay. Continuing to decrease our open enrollment numbers, that's a big thing. And as John said earlier, we have brought that number down a lot, but that is a number that we need to continue to look at and to continue to try to bring down. Again, school safety improvements are high on my list. Continuing to push forward with student achievement. That's obviously always in the forefront of our minds as a board. Figuring out ways to encourage staff to make Missouri Valley their home, the retention, ideas for retention, and continuing to spotlight Missouri Valley schools and all of our accomplishments so that others can see what a great district that we have.
Okay. Stephanie?
As I mentioned before, just increasing transparency. They have been wonderfully leading, as a school board, but when I did a search on the school website, for instance, I couldn't find a lot of information, and so I felt like if I wasn't able to find some of the information, maybe we need to increase transparency to the community so that way there isn't a question on, what are your policies? Like, what are you, striving to achieve and things like that, just to increase that level of trust with our community. I think reviewing support staff, especially their salary schedules, because they're the staff that we're losing the most frequently, or is the highest turnover, and also just exploring different options for like benefits and health insurance and things like that. I think it's worth discussing. So, yeah.
Okay, Bridget?
I think just continuous improvement. So again, not being stagnant, continuing to have those partnerships, the short-term and long-term goals. I think, again, the Iowa Western partnership with having the bus center locally, like that was a great accomplishment, a great achievement, a great addition to our community. Again, partnering with the city council to come up with some of those big ideas that, again, will continue to help us move things forward, again, for the community and for the school district. And just this little magical pot of money would be awesome if we could just have more of it so that we could continue to do more.
Okay. John?
As a district, we've had a good run. We've had a good reputation. We haven't had any blow-ups. I hope over the next 4 years we don't have something blow up. We have a bad actor. We don't pay our bills. We're very good at paying our bills and doing what's right. So if we can keep that going where everything looks nice and everybody gets along and things are the same and it's good, we'll have achieved our goals. So that's what I would respond to that question.
Okay, now it's time for closing remarks. And Stephanie, let's start with you.
I would just like to say that I appreciate your time and allowing me to kind of share my perspectives. I know some of you probably have no clue who I am, and that's okay because I've been just diligently doing my work in other areas, but I would appreciate just a chance. I offer a different perspective that maybe isn't quite the same as what others have to offer, but I'm really vested and dedicated to this community and to the students and families here. So.
Bridget?
Yeah, so just first of all, thank you for everyone who came out tonight to learn more about us as candidates. I think that's really important to know that you're interested in wanting to know more about us. Also, just having that interest and background and continuing to serve our community, serve our school district. I do feel like we have a strong, well-rounded team who's open-minded. We're willing to listen and learn. And again, want both the Mo Valley School District and the community to be successful. So again, great, wonderful administration, staff, overall student body. So again, just thank you for your time and would appreciate your support.
Joanna? Hey, we started with John, we're gonna end with John.
There you go.
Let me close it out.
Well, I agree. I very much appreciate everyone who took the time to come out tonight. I have just been very honored the past 8 years to be on this board. Missouri Valley obviously is very special to me, having been here my whole life. Having a child in the district obviously makes me have a little bit more vested interest. I really feel that we have some great momentum going on here in Missouri Valley the past several years, and I just really look forward to being able to continue that.
Okay, John?
Okay. Here's our questions. Here's my notes. It's white. I pay attention. I care about this. I've got this in my mind because I'm prepared. I show up and I make sure that I'm making the right decisions by doing the homework ahead of time. So I think that's what matters to me. If you look in the paper, I have excellent attendance at meetings. Being on the board is a priority to me. And I'm very passionate about what I do and making sure that I'm serving this community. I hope I get your vote. If I don't, vote for one of these ladies. They'll do a fine job. But overall, I think my service on here makes a difference in this community, and I hope you vote for me.
Thank you all very much. We appreciate your time. We thank you for being here. And now we will have a little bit of an intermission between those coming back up to talk for mayor and council.
Hello, hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. All right.
How's it going?
Test, test.
That's good.
Check.
I got more boxes.
Check.
Good.
She's actually right there.
She's right back there, fella.
But it's nice for me.
Oh, I heard you. I just hope I can look at it.
Further back.
They keep it over there.
Yes, you spent 30 minutes or better without a proposal.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Everybody forgets how to browse the machine. Yeah.
Well, hey, Judy, what is this? You
No,
got
I
two of me together.
I don't like this kind of stuff.
Oh, I guess.
Okay, if everybody wants to take your seat, we'll start trying to get ready to get going here again. Are you rereading them, their rules?
You guys want the rules ready again? Are you good?
Okay, are you ready to rock?
I think we're good.
You guys okay?
Yep, we're good.
All righty. Okay, we'll go ahead and do the introductions, and Sean, we're just gonna start with you since you're right here.
Okay. My name's Sean Kelly. I'm the current mayor of the city of Missouri Valley. I work at Cargill over in Blair full-time over there in the refinery. And I was former member of the Missouri Valley Fire Department for 14 years. I retired from that last year. So keep pretty busy. I'm married. My wife Jennifer. I also have 3 kids. I have a freshman, a 6th grader, and a 2nd grader that all keep me pretty busy. So definitely enjoy doing that. I stay pretty active that way. Yeah.
Okay, Adam?
My name's Adam Bellis. I've been here for 10 years. Work out at McDonald's. So, always busy.
Hi, I'm Joe Grimes, and I am a wife, mother, and a cool grandma. I am a welder by trade. I build boilers for powerhouses, and I have even fixed yours when they have had heat spots. So I am the owner of Gypsy Joe's here in town, and I like making things for people that come in to either help with their home environment or with themselves. So I just take their ideas and then I elaborate on them and make everything work. So with that, I also am studying a modality which will include a healing technique that will take me to Barcelona, Spain. And then once I get my certs, I will be the only one in the state of Iowa and Nebraska that does this modality. And it's an alternative type of healing. I am also studying the business and marketing as I do that to help my business grow. So I'm kind of wanting to push my boiler making off to the side and become independent and just serve the community with what I do at my shop. And that's it.
First of all, my name is Marilyn Kaiser, and first of all, I'd like to thank Jeannie and the Chamber and everyone who put this all together tonight, and for all of you who came. So here's a few things about me. My husband Jerry and I and our two kids, Mitch and Bailey, moved here 23 years ago. Our kids both graduated from Missouri Valley High School. We chose Mo Valley not because of what it was, but because of what it wasn't, meaning Omaha or Council Bluffs. I bring 12 years of experience in city government to this town, which gives me a clear understanding of city hall, budget planning, interactions with the street and water operations, and interactions with many citizens. I have formal training from the Iowa Municipal Professionals Institute by the Iowa League of Cities. I am currently serving on the council. I was appointed in June of this year to fill a vacated position. So I feel like I have a lot of things to bring to the table. I am now retired and I have time to devote and properly serve this community and the citizens of this town. Thank you.
Sure.
My name is Sherman Struble, and I've been on the council for quite a while. And we've lived in this town for 60 years. And I guess my reason for being on the council is I just enjoy the work that is being done, and I look forward to anything that, all the things that are coming up with the valley, and I think we'll progress as we learn our way through this.
Dakota.
For those who don't know who I am, I'm Dakota Tisch. I run your guys' water treatment center. I also run a couple of smaller communities around the area, such as Crescent and Carter Lake as well. I haven't been in town nowhere near as long as Sherm has. I've only been here for the last couple of years. I moved here, looks like 2 years ago, with my wife and our 2 dogs, and then we got a third one. Forgot about the puppy. I'm just wanting to bring new blood into the city council. I do want to thank Jeannie Wortman for putting this on. The Rain Center has always been great for hosting events like this. And hope this all goes good.
Aaron.
My name is Aaron Tuttle. I'm 52 years old. I'm married to my lovely wife, Amber. We've been married 8 years. Longtime resident. I was born in the hospital up on 8th Street, so me and Mo Valley go way back. I did live briefly in Omaha for about a decade. Working in Omaha at Methodist Hospital, doing transportation, logistics work. I'm also a small business owner. I own Go Limo and Shuttle Services, and I've had that business running since 2012. I've always had a side hustle in the limo business for the last 28 years, and I am running for re-election, so I'm currently on the city council. I enjoy serving the people of Missouri Valley, and I'm kind of a nerd about all the policies and procedures, and I really enjoy it.
Okay. Sean, we're going to start with you on this one. What do you feel is Missouri Valley's greatest asset, and how do you intend to enhance or preserve that?
Well, I've said it in the past, and I think the greatest asset that we have is the people that live in our community here. The small town that we have here, the vibe that you get from everybody, you know your neighbors, you know what's going on. People are willing to lend a hand when something's going on. Preserving it, enhancing it. We do need more housing. We need to expand, but we don't want to become the next Council Bluffs or Omaha. We want to stay with that small town feeling, but yet we need new housing to bring more people in that can become part of this small community.
Yeah.
The people bringing in new businesses, promoting the city to enhance for the people to stop.
Joe?
I think you guys nailed it. Yep, housing and businesses, and I'd like to have it attract not only the outsiders, but appeal to those that live here. We have a lot of seasoned residents, and we also have younger kids that would like to have more job opportunities. So I'd like to just hit as many different age groups that we can. That's just kind of where I'm standing with the businesses.
Marilyn?
Well, it's hard to pick the greatest asset because we have so many great amenities in this town. Our school and the great sports complex. We have a fine police department, our parks, the train station, the dog park, our hospital, our pool, the Rialto Theater, and many more. But if I had to pick one, I would probably say it's the feel of our small town. I feel safe when I go for a walk, and when I'm out and about, I typically run into someone that I know, and I usually have to stop and visit for a while.
Sure.
I guess I'll have to go along with Sean when one of our best assets is our people. And I agree that the small town situation is very nice to know your neighbor, to be able to talk to somebody on the street, and to feel safe in your house and your surroundings. I think that's one of the nicest assets we can have.
Dakota?
I was able to limit it down to mainly 3 assets that I think are great that Missouri Valley has. We offer the wonderful dog park that I know people have put a lot of time and effort into. We also have the capability of going through and hosting the Harrison County Fair here, which draws a large amount of people into the town, which is also going to allow us to expand our downtown also. Honestly, I think one of our greatest assets, though, is our location. The fact that we are just minutes away from Omaha Council Bluffs, and we can draw people from the city down to Missouri Valley that just want to slow down and not have the hustle and bustle.
Aaron?
I will second, triple, third, and quarter everybody. I believe it's our people as well, and just our safe, small-town community environment. We'll continue to preserve that by funding our local police department, and we will keep our police department local. I think we have a great park system. As Dakota said, our dog park has been highlighted in several publications, but the park system overall, we've got good recreation. I'd like to add to that somehow in the future. We've got the swimming pool, the Rialto Theater. All these are good. The proximity of our location. We are a bedroom community. We are considered part of the Omaha metro area, one of 3 Iowa counties to fall into that. So yeah, we are a bedroom community to Omaha and Council Bluffs and Blair for that matter. All 3 places offer immense opportunities for work, entertainment as well.
Okay. Marilyn, we're going to start this one with you. What specific measures will you support and drive to help make the city of Missouri Valley the best place to live for families in Western Iowa?
Well, I can't speak for all of Western Iowa, but I can speak for Harrison County. In comparing Missouri Valley to other towns in the county, as I said before, our town has many amenities that give us a big advantage over the other towns. We have a lot of things here, and we've been able to maintain the small town feel, so it's a good place for families. As for current measures on the table, I don't know of any right now, but if there were, I would look at it the same way I do now, and that would be weighing the cost versus the benefit. And would it enhance our community in a way that would please our citizens?
Okay. Sherman?
Say the question again, will you?
Sure. What specific measures will you support and drive to help make the city of Missouri Valley the best place for families to live in Western Iowa?
I think probably that the best thing, one of the best things, is our small community and the way a small community thrives. And our town is growing in respect to businesses. We've had a number of businesses that have grown or came to town in the last year or two. And if we continue to do that, I think that'd be great.
Okay. Adam?
Supporting our fire and police departments and building a stronger infrastructure to process the plans that are in place now.
Okay. Let's go to Joe.
I'd say also communication with the residents, because they do have a lot to say, and getting the ideas from the residents, making them feel like they're a part of us as well. So hearing them out and then doing things that are in reason is too, if that makes sense. So.
Aaron?
What I would like to see is the creation of a new position within City Hall. I'd like a director of development, housing, and recreation that would take all these challenges head on. They would, just do outreach, looking for developers, match them up with landowners that might be interested in selling, just that type of issue. Look at recreation. I've had people ask me about, frisbee disc golf, walking trails, bike lanes, just anything like that. But housing's our biggest issue, and it would be a game changer if we were to get a development moving in the future.
Okay, Dakota?
I agree with Aaron on the housing issue. That is a big issue around here. Being able to make the housing that we do have livable. I do know we have a lot of dilapidated houses in town that the city has been making processes of trying to remedy those. But I would say some of our greatest, the best things that we have going for us is the modern school. We got all sorts of activities and amenities that we can offer to the students. We do have the Satellite College of Iowa Western over at the bus center, which they are looking into doing classes that they'll be reaching out to citizens of the community to try and see what the community needs to offer to allow these kids a opportunity of making a difference within Missouri Valley.
Sean?
Well, first of all, I would like to say I think we already have the best town in Western Iowa to live in. I really have a passion for this town. I think it's great. As far as measures go, I'm willing to support anything that improves this town, continues to improve and help it prosper. We have a lot of big ideas for the future of Missouri Valley. The Highway 30 bypass, I know it kind of talk about that forever. It's been on an agenda. It's been all over the place. It's not a forgotten thing. It's still in the works. It's going to happen. With that comes the housing, also the business ability to come in after that as well. So.
Okay. Our next question is, what do you feel is the most important issue facing residents of Missouri Valley? And if elected, what makes you the best candidate to seek a resolution to that issue? Aaron?
I thought about this, and I thought the issue that affects everybody is the flooding problems that we have in this community. We've got a unique opportunity right now where we have two entities converging, the Iowa DOT and the Corps of Engineers came up with a plan to essentially flood-proof Missouri Valley, and the railroad has been our roadblock. So we are meeting with the railroad on Thursday to see if we can get them to change their tune a little bit. But I think flooding's the biggest problem. If you're not affected directly with a residential home or a commercial business, roads are closed, you're rerouting your commutes, it affects everybody.
Okay, Sean?
I would say the most important issue facing our residents would definitely be housing, affordable housing, I should say. Right now we have the issue of where to build. Any place there is a spot to build, it's like Aaron was saying, it's in the floodplain or floodway. And nobody wants to build there. Nobody wants to invest $200,000, $300,000 and potentially have it flooded as soon as you get it done. So along with the bypass comes that opportunity for additional housing, especially for more people to come in and more
Sherman?
I'm not sure what would be the best thing for the individuals. Certainly the ones that have been mentioned are, but I think maybe whatever the most important thing for an individual is whatever his problem is at the time. And if they would communicate that with us, we'll strive to help them. And that's one of the most important things, I think, for at the time.
Marilyn?
I think, excuse me, I think that our taxes are too high. I'm only one council person with only one vote, so I can't fix it by myself, but I do believe that one person on a council of 5 can have a voice to be heard that can work towards controlling our spending. Decision-making that stays within the budget is just plain common sense.
Okay. Dakota?
So there are a few issues that residents are seeing with Missouri Valley. One of them is I would be pushing hard on the revitalization of downtown. It is the first thing people see when they come through Missouri Valley. We should try to push to make it look and be something presentable so that we could get more businesses in here and become more self-sufficient. Another one would be segueing off of the railroad issues. We got the possibility of that viaduct that was coming through, but we were getting pushed back with the railroad. We need to have them more accountable because they are also blocking a lot of our railroad crossings, which is making it a hassle for people to get around town, not just residents, but emergency services as well. Those would probably be a couple of the main ones, but then also the water infrastructure is greatly in need of improvement as well.
Okay. Joe?
I am totally on board with the flood zone issue that we have. Having a business, you cannot take your flood insurance and break it down to 12 increments through the year. It's up front and it's not cheap. For us business owners, and I'm sure house owners as well. With the bigger issues going on, I see smaller issues, detailed issues. One of them is the main park up there by the cemetery. The dog park has more equipment for the dogs than the kids have, okay? And that's the main park for the kids. So that wouldn't hurt if that kind of got spiced up just a little bit for those kids to hang out there. But then we got the Rock Road down by the soccer field where they play soccer. They're breathing in all that dust when people drive by, you know. So that's an issue. Other than that, there's also a street light.
Adam?
The downtown and low housing income, and then flooding is another issue.
Okay. Our next question is, what is one improvement that you will commit to completing during your service on city council or as mayor? Adam, we'll start with you.
Revising the downtown.
Okay.
That's, yeah.
Okay. Dakota?
Well, I gotta go with, because I'm very passionate about the water system. That's my big thing is, so I would say the revitalization of the infrastructure with the water system and updating our storm water as well, so that we aren't running just all the storm water down the sides of the road, so that anytime we get a drop of rain, everybody's getting flooded cars, this, that, and the next thing that they're having to drive through. Just making it where the town is a little bit more friendly when it comes to people coming through for the first time.
Okay. Aaron?
I will commit and continue to be involved with the Highway 30 bypasses. I've been present at most of these meetings. I do believe this ties directly into downtown. I believe rerouting roughly 1,000 trucks per day off of our main street will have a profound impact. It'll be more inviting for residents who right now do not feel safe with a steady line of semi-trucks doing 30 miles an hour down our main street. I think we'll have an opportunity to completely reimagine our downtown. If you look at the 100 block in Council Bluffs, that's my goal. That would be fantastic.
Sure.
I have to agree with Aaron that, in my eyes, the bypass is the best thing that could happen to Missouri Valley. We've been working at it or wishing for it since the late 60s. And it seems like it's in a better chance of passing it or being the real thing now. But it's still a couple of years or at least away. But that would be the greatest thing that could happen to Missouri Valley, I think.
Okay. Sean?
I would say the one thing I really want to focus on and commit to trying to get completed, especially as long as I'm in this office, would be additional housing for our citizens. That doesn't come without other projects being completed, like I said earlier, but working with local contractors and developers and builders to get together to come up with an expansion for that's affordable for, you know, people to come into this community that are going to be paying taxes and shopping local to help those businesses that we all want to come.
Marilyn?
So we have a lot of properties around town that don't look the greatest. We have lawns in the summertime that need mowed that don't get it as often as they should. So the one thing I would commit to getting accomplished would be to take a look at our nuisance abatement code. I feel it can be improved upon by making more stringent as well as enforceable.
Joe?
These are all great ideas. And the one thing that I can say right offhand is there's a light on First and Erie Street. The truckers, when they're coming from the north and they're going to head west, they always hit that one side light. Now it's turning towards Casey's, and there have been so many close call T-bone accidents. So just pay attention to detail while we're in the process of trying to figure out what we're going to do on these big bills with, you know, new residential areas, the water system, and the flood zone, and that. I would like to at least start with the little details, and I totally agree and support what these guys are saying. So that's all I got.
Joe, we're going to stay right with you for this one. What's your vision of growth for the future of Missouri Valley?
The vision of growth, taking in the ideas and the concerns from everybody, our residents, because without the residents, we don't have a town. And then implementing what we can at a with reasonable ideas, because I know our hands are, well, the council's hands are strapped as well. So there's a famous guy that we all know, and he has a really great quote, and I'm going to go ahead and just twist a couple words, and it goes like this: let's make Missouri Valley great again.
Sean?
Sorry, that's a good one. My vision for the growth of Missouri Valley, obviously, I think we've had a lot of growth, and to continue the growth that we've had, whether it be through the school district. You know, we have an amazing athletic complex up there. We have the ALC. The school's been renovated, quite a bit of it, and updated and refreshed, and I think continuing with that, because the future for this town is our children. We want them to grow up here, have passion about being in this community, and want to graduate and come back here and live here. And with that happening, and having the houses that they can come back to and the jobs that they can come back to, is going to be for the future of Missouri Valley.
Sherman?
I guess I agree with everyone what they've said, but I think in my eyes the bypass is the best thing that in our future that's going to make Missouri Valley grow. And with that, it'll bring housing and bring more people to town. With that, our floodplain won't be as big, or maybe not be there at all. But to me, the bypass is one of the greatest things that could happen to us right now.
Okay. Marilyn?
So when we think of growth, we tend to think of it in physical terms. But due to Missouri Valley's unique situation as it pertains to physical growth, the issue of flood control, which will likely be a major player in a conversation for another time. But so rather than putting our focus on physical growth, I would suggest and support enhancing what we currently have. How about a business district beautification effort, starting with using our downtown buildings for their intended purpose?
Adam?
To get more businesses in town and also put steps in place for business blockers.
Okay. Aaron?
It goes back to an earlier answer. I do believe we need a director of development. We desperately need housing. We need business growth. If you just go up the highway, Logan just recently created their Community Vision Committee. You hit Woodbine, they have their Main Street Inc. director, and they also have a Betterment Committee comprised of 8 or 9 members. Dunlap even has a director of development. So I feel like we're just kind of falling behind on this. That director would definitely, dive right in, tackle the housing issue, to tackle business growth. We're at this golden intersection out here on Highway 30 and I-29. Why didn't we get the Dollar General distribution center? We're in a massive intersection that goes in all 4 directions.
Dakota?
I'm going to just say the bypass is a major thing that needs to be done, but doing so, we are going to be diverting a lot of traffic around town. We have to have something that draws people to Missouri Valley. We have to have the businesses, and not just the businesses. We need to be able to have the capability of even getting the businesses downtown. We need to clean up some of the buildings that are down there that are just falling apart and decaying on themselves, because nobody wants to come in and put a business in there if they are going to be sinking twice as much as what they'd be making for a yearly profit into just making it where they can get their business in there. I just want to make it where Missouri Valley is put on the map. I want to have it where our businesses will support our own community, keep it local.
Okay. Dakota, we're going to start with you for this one. In your elected position, how do you intend to support local businesses? What will you do to help and encourage local businesses to stay or locate here in Missouri Valley?
I would agree with Aaron on having a person that is directly above making sure that downtown has the events and everything that they need, helping out Jeannie with the chamber, and solely cleaning up the downtown, make it look inviting, make it where the businesses down there and the buildings down there are able to be ready to come in and put a business in there. Looking for grants for helping with the facelifts and making it so that we can get a little extra help on cleaning that downtown up.
Okay. Sean?
Well, I would say supporting local businesses, the biggest thing you can do is be there if they need something. Whether it's applying for a grant to renovate a building or paint a building or do anything such like that, as well as if it's something you need, instead of running to Blair or Logan or Council Bluffs to go get it, shop local. Even if it's $5 more, you're going to spend more than that gas running to Council Bluffs and back. So if you can buy it local, do that. I think a great opportunity. Everybody begged for a hardware store. We now have a hardware store back. It's amazing. I wasn't expecting that when I walked in there for the first time. I was like, whoa, there's a lot more in here than I thought. But utilizing those businesses that people want to come in, make sure you shop there.
Joe?
Yes, please support us local businesses. So with that, and the curb appeal, because I admit I had the worst parking lot in town, but it's also pretty pricey. So just that will change in time, but we need to help our buildings look better. Be more attractive. Nothing like going into a town and wondering if you really want to have a business, in some of these buildings. But yet the curb appeal is important, and just supporting each other.
Sure.
I agree with Joe, I guess. My thought is that if,
On my
as
personal line?
local people, need to take care of the businesses that are here, and our business area has grown in the last year or so, and we need to participate with them as often as possible, and not only with our monies, but with any help that we can offer to them.
Okay, Adam?
Try to find an incentive to keep them in town, to get them to offer specials to keep them to stay in town.
Okay. Aaron?
As a small business owner myself, I strongly support local small businesses. Since being on the council, I have attended almost every single grand opening that I can. I think I might have missed 2 or 3. But I do that because I feel that's important to show that they have the support from members of the city council. I feel if you're willing to invest your time, talent, and your treasure, I want to be there to help celebrate that with you. One thing I've thought about is possibly creating a small business entrepreneur fund, and maybe that's something we pair up with the Chamber of Commerce. But if a prospective small business owner approaches us with a viable business plan, maybe we, with the chamber, pay their first month's rent and maybe co-pay some of their signage on the front of their building. We can think outside the box, and that does not hurt at all to think outside the box when trying to solve some of these issues.
Okay. Marilyn?
I will continue to patronize our local business community first. Going a step further, I will promote these businesses to others. We may pay a little bit more for goods and services, but as John said, we're paying for gas to get to the city. Not to mention dealing with traffic, sometimes hectic, and not getting the personal service that we get in our hometown. There are low-interest loans and grants available for new businesses that perhaps people are not aware of. And I would be willing to do the legwork to help them find them and share that information.
Okay. Our next question, Sherm, we're going to start with you. How do you intend to further engage citizens for the betterment of Missouri Valley?
My thought there is that just to let everybody know what we have to offer, verbally tell people what's going on here and what we expect in the future.
Adam?
Promoting community nights.
Okay. Joe?
There again, it goes by listening and considering doable ideas. Communication is huge. It's huge in a marriage. It's huge in a town.
Marilyn?
One of the things that I take pride in personally is that I am approachable and I'm available. And as a member of the city council, I may, or I may not, be in a position to help someone with a problem. Sometimes there is a fix and sometimes there is not. But I can't address something if I don't know about it. So talk to me. And making campaign promises is a dangerous game, so I stay away from that. The promise I am willing to make are simply these. I will always try my best to be available. I will answer my phone. I will always be honest with you, and I will always be your advocate.
Sean?
I think engaging the citizens for betterment is just basically getting the word out there and letting them know everything that we have going on in this community. Utilizing all of those resources, the newspaper, whether it's social media, our nice digital board that we have as you come into town. There's a lot of events that I've had on my calendar on my phone and completely slipped my mind. And as you pull in, you see it on the board and it's, oh yeah, that's going on. And, you know, just utilizing all those resources and getting them to the information to the citizens so that they can show up and participate in those events. We have a lot of great things going on here.
Okay, Aaron?
I am constantly engaging citizens, whether it be at public social events, them contacting me directly via text or mail. I'm always approachable. I listen. I can hardly even take my dog on a 20-minute walk with engaging with about 3 people and just tell them about stuff that's going on in town and listening to their concerns. My phone number is public on the city webpage or city website. Anybody's always welcome to call me with any concerns, compliments, or any. We don't get too many compliments, but it's sometimes it's a thankless job, but once in a while we do.
Dakota?
All right, so I came from Waterloo, Cedar Falls, where me and my wife, we went through and we played a big part in helping promote events and festivals that we put together for their downtown within that community. It was the main goal of that was just creating unity, because once you create unity with your citizens and of the community, then they have more of a vested interest in the city itself, where if something goes on, then they're going to want to attend because they have a stake to play in it and everything like that. Just make it where they're more involved.
Okay. And our next question is, what motivates you to become a city council member or the mayor? Marilyn?
I enjoy serving others. In fact, every job I've ever had has been serving others. Thought about doing this years ago, but when I was working, didn't feel I had the time. So now that I've retired, I have the time to do a job and be effective at it. So now that I do have the time, as well as experience with the matters of city government, I feel like I have a lot to offer, and it's time for me to give back to my community.
Dakota?
3 big bullet points. 1, I'm young, I'm passionate about the community, and I'm driven for the betterment of this community in itself.
Okay, Aaron?
What motivated me initially was just that I cared about the city. I wanted to make it a better community to live in, to raise a family in. My focus was our blighted downtown Main Street corridor. It was looking pretty rough and unattractive. Since I've joined the council, we've really tried to take this issue on. We've seen new sidewalks. You've now seen the street resurfaced. Chamber provided planters and trash receptacles. We've got some good momentum going. You've seen downtown businesses being fixed up with the help of us approving like TIF financing and working with grants. And I would like to keep that momentum going in the future, and that all ties in again to hiring a director of development to take this into the next phase.
Sherman?
I just enjoy the fact of seeing things move and seeing things grow, and I hope that I can continue to do that.
Adam?
I've been in town for 10 years and think it's time for younger blood to give ideas.
Okay, Joe?
Well, I love this town. I've been riding through the hills on poker runs for over 20 years, and I never thought I'd be here, but here I am. I'm originally from Springfield, Nebraska. So my daughter is here, so is my granddaughter, and I just want to make it to where my granddaughter grows up and she wants to stay here. I don't want her to come to me and say, Grandma, I'm moving because it's a run down, nothing to do town. So, and I want the seniors to enjoy their time here because they deserve it, because this is where they're from. So with that, I love my shop and how I can help people, and I just want to take it to the next level by getting on the city council.
Sean?
I would say what motivates me for the mayor position, I think, is continuing to see the development that this community has had over just the short few years that I've been in office, and all the progress that we're making. A lot of people are very quick to point out the negative things that is going on in the community, but if they take just a second and look around at the amount of business growth that we've had and the improvements that have been made, like they touched on the sidewalks and the new street paving and the flower pots and the trash cans and everything, it looks wonderful, and it's turning around, and it really motivates me to maintain and continue that effort to improve what the city looks like.
Okay. We have 2 questions that were submitted this evening, and we're going to start with these now. The first one is, what are your thoughts on people missing meetings? We're going to start with you, Dakota.
I do believe showing up for meetings is it's an integral part of the job. There are circumstances that always come up because not everybody's schedules can line up with the meetings. I do know, being a person that tends to attend all the meetings in one way or another, I do see that there is communication in there. Having a proxy in and stuff like that does make a difference. But having the attendance is a very big issue that should be being resolved.
Okay. Joe?
Yep, if I wouldn't show up for work, I wouldn't have a job. So, but I also understand that sometimes things happen. But for the most part, if we signed up to do something, then we need to be there.
Okay. Sherman?
I think if you have a job and a responsibility, you should be there. But I understand there are situations that don't let that happen. So, but my thought is, if I'm a chamber member or a Lions Club member or a city council member, I'll be at the meeting.
Okay. Sean?
I agree. It's a responsibility to be at the meetings. Life does happen. Myself, I've missed meetings due to work or other personal stuff that I'm out of town on vacation. I would say everybody needs to strive to be here as many as they can. And if you can commit to being here a majority of the time, and do it, because it's part of the job.
Marilyn?
I agree that if you sign up for something, you need to be there.
Okay. Aaron?
I understand life happens. Since I've been on council, I think in 2+ years, I've maybe missed 1 meeting. I enjoy it, so there's nothing I would rather be doing on a Tuesday night.
Adam?
I would have to agree with everyone else. If you're going to sign up, be there as many as you can.
Okay. And then the next one is, they would like to know what you're going to do to change and enforce people in town that don't want to maintain their property like the rest of the people do. So we're going to start with Marilyn.
Well, I said earlier, I think that our nuisance abatement ordinance needs to be looked at, and I would be willing to do that. Make it a little more stringent than what it is, and enforceable.
Okay. Aaron?
I agree with Marilyn primarily on that topic. It's a tough deal. I mean, there's policies in place. People get warned. They skirt around the rules. They do just enough, and then it's right back to the same situation, you know, a month, 2 months later. We are kind of a complaint-based system here, where there's not an enforcer driving around, you know, a yard police. But so it's basically complaint-based. So if people complain, the city inspector will follow up, and there's procedures that he goes through and contacts the city attorney. It's slow moving. It's not always effective, and I think it's a flawed system as well.
Okay. Sean?
Well, I 100% agree that there's definitely some change that needs to be done in our policies, and to be able to enforce it is a big thing. And like Aaron said, the people that are habitual offenders of it, they know the rules. They know exactly what they have to do to not have a penalty or a fine put on them, and so they do just that much, and then they stop because they know there's nothing that can be done. So looking at different alternatives for that would be a big thing. The other thing too, I would say is things do happen in life. People's mowers breaks, they have a hard time at work, they can't afford the gas for it. Be a good neighbor. Walk over and ask them, hey, do you need to borrow my mower? I've said it in the past, I'll say it again. We live in a small town, everybody wants a small town. Do the small town neighbor thing. Maybe you can help them out once, maybe it'll help them out twice, but be a good neighbor.
Joe?
Well, I couldn't have said it better myself. I totally agree, because you don't know what's going on in their life. Some people you do, and like you said, it's just going to be the bare minimum. So that's where finding out what we could do to just kind of help enforce that situation. But coming down to being that good neighbor and also just seeing it, they need some help.
Dakota?
That's a great question. I've been sitting here trying to think of it. Honestly, I would, if I get the opportunity to join everybody up here on city council, I would want to look into the ordinances a little bit more just so I have a better concept behind them. But I have seen that there are sticker fines that some other communities have used that seem to be working, but I do also agree that just be neighborly. We are a small community. Help out where you can. Pay it forward a little bit. But maybe getting like a crew that can also help out as well. But yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. Adam?
I would have to agree. It's going to have to be enforced, and the ordinance is going to have to get changed. So.
Okay. And then now it is for closing statements. So Aaron, we'll start with you.
All right. We got the election coming up November 7th. I really enjoyed representing the people of Missouri Valley. I would like to ask for your support, your vote. I want to continue the work that we currently have been working on as far as the bypass, any downtown revitalization. There's a lot of work to be done here, and I would appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Okay. Dakota?
I just hope to have the opportunity to help out the community. I would, if anybody has any questions, my phone number, I actually have a card at City Hall. You guys could reach out to me anytime. I'm completely available to answer any questions or concerns you might have.
Okay. Sure.
I just want to continue to help and move the town forward. I've done it for a number of years now, and I'm not ready to quit yet.
Okay. Marilyn?
So you've all heard me address a few questions tonight on a variety of topics, and I think you know where I stand. If there's one thing I've learned after participating in more than 300 council meetings, it's that they're all the same, but yet they're all different, and I'm prepared for both. So if you're looking for someone who is hardworking, diligent, available, approachable, and honest, then you need to vote for me on November 7th. Thank you.
Joe?
I really do love and care about this town. I really enjoy my customers. I get seasoned, I get young kids, boys, girls, it don't matter. And I just would like to give back. I want to be more involved in what we have. We have so much potential here. And I just want to get my foot in the door. There's a lot I don't know, but there is a lot I want to learn and be an asset to this community, and I will be one way or another. So thank you for having me up here.
Adam?
I just want to give it a try, make the city better. So get out there and vote November 7th.
Sean?
I'll say it again too, get out and vote. If you don't go and vote, you're basically not letting your voice be heard. If you want to have an opinion, that's where it's at. Get out there and vote who you think is going to be the best candidate for those positions. I hope, I'm reelected. I'm running unopposed, but obviously you never know. Could be enough write-in votes. But I would say, with reelection, hopefully I can continue to serve this community, and thank you for putting your trust in me.
Thank you all very much. And Jeannie, is there anything that you want to say in closing?
Just the reason for having the forum is to provide you with more information so that you can make that determination as to who you think the best candidate and people are for the office to continue our growth here in Missouri Valley and on our school board. So we hope that we've accomplished that tonight. As they've all said, they're approachable. If you have more questions for them, I'm sure that they would be more than happy to answer those questions directly to you. We do have a few minutes yet tonight, so our closing time frame is 8:30. So if you want to visit with someone in particular tonight, still feel free to do that. With that being said, the election is November the 7th. The Rand Center here is the location for the voters for Missouri Valley City and St. John's Township. So be sure to come and vote. If you've already received your absentee ballot, be sure to fill it out and get that returned so that it's back at the courthouse by election day. So with that being said, I want to thank all of our candidates from City Council and the Mayor and the school board once again for participating tonight. Thank you for coming to listen. Thank you, Renee. Wonderful job. Thank you. Oh, did Connie leave already? Okay, so we will do another personal thank you to her. So thank you to my timekeepers. Thank you over there to Kelly Richards for providing that extra coverage for us tonight. Be sure to drive safely home. I don't know if it started to rain yet or not. It looked a little ominous out there when we first came in. But we appreciate you being here, and be safe going home.
Thanks for hosting this, Jeannie.